It's time to gather together. Hi there, I'm Yelta and I'll be buying the first round while we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 229. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, The Rising returns August 27th, an update regarding the North American and European data center congestion and the next steps. We have Tales from the Twilight, new optional items and adventure celebration sale, watch the latest episode of Duty Commenced, announcing the weapon design contest, Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers The Art of Reflection Histories Unwritten pre-orders are ongoing, Final Fantasy XIV Vinyl LP Box now available, and developers blog, and we have a reminder about our contest. But first, let's shoot the shit. What has been going on this week? Hey, Ruby.
Hi, Yelta. How are you?
I am alive and well in a new home.
Hey, I like that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a good week, and I love to say this. We have a guest this week. I don't even want to call her a guest. I don't even feel right calling this person a guest. Yelta, will you do the honors of introducing our guest?
We have my sister, Kariri's back.
Hello.
She's Final Fantasy XIV, and she's here with us tonight. Hello.
This feels absolutely surreal. Hello, you guys.
It's awesome.
Yay.
Yay.
Happy to have you back. Happy to have you back.
It's fun to be here.
That's great. I know there's a lot that you've been up to. I would love to hear what you've been doing in-game. Give you first dibs telling us about your forays back into the world of Eorzea.
Oh, it's been so good. It's been so crazy. So I'm going to start here. So I quit playing. I went back and looked on my Twitter feed. March 3rd, 2016. That is the last time I logged into this game. I stopped back for the free login campaign in 2019 for one day, took some pictures and left. So this is literally my first time actually playing the game again. So it's been crazy. But all I did was start an alt with Yelta. I can't play my main right now. I am too disoriented. I don't know how to tank. I don't know what all my buttons do, and I don't want to make an ass of myself. So I just started a brand new character, just running around Ul'dah, and I think I'm level 24. So I'm still doing gladiator stuff right now, and it's just been great. It's been great playing with Yelta again. It's been great seeing everybody in the free company and just getting reoriented to the game. So doing main storyline quests. And the funniest thing, though, is the very first quest I picked up by random chance, just walking by a question mark, happened to be the one where I ended up talking to Yoshi P in the game. So it was, of all the quests that I have missed and all the active quests in the world that I could have picked up, the fact that I just walked by that one and that's the one I got, it's just crazy. But yeah, I'm leveling my miner and leveling my blacksmith and leveling my cooking and fishing, and it's just been a really good few days back in the game, and I'm so excited to be here and keep playing with you guys again.
It's awesome.
It's so awesome.
What's like the biggest change? I'd love to know what you think the biggest, like for you, of having stepped out when you did, and now we're in, late Shadowbringers. What has been the biggest, like, slap to the face? I cannot believe this thing is completely different than when I last logged in.
The biggest, most disorienting thing to me is all the changes to abilities. Like, now you have those, I don't even remember what they're called, but it's not just paladin abilities. They took away some of the paladin abilities, and now it's all the tanks across the board have these, the roll abilities. So, getting to learn those is going to take me some time. So that was a bit of a, that's pretty disorienting to me, but it's been crazy because, like, I left right before, I think that was right before they introduced, like, music players. And so getting all of the music from all of the drops and things. So I've never experienced that, and I'm excited to, experience that. I know that, like, there's different ways that people level now. There's, what is it called, Yelta? where most
I'm sorry?
people. What is that? There's like a
Palace
dead
of the
thing.
Dead?
Yeah, Palace of the Dead.
Yeah.
Everyone talks
we
about.
haven't taken you to Dungeon Dungeons yet. Yeah, we'll have to do that.
No. I mean, Yelta and I just ran, like, 2 nights ago, the first 2 dungeons, the little level 20 ones, you know, and we're next in the main storyline quest, we're going into Tamtara. So, it's, you know, that's where I'm at, you know. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. But it's just been really, really fun and really, I can't wait to go further in the main storyline quest and see what else is out there, but I think I'm going to start real low and work my way back up before I switch back over to my main character. So, but yeah, it was, I haven't seen enough yet, to be perfectly honest. I haven't seen enough of the new content to be really wowed by changes, I guess. So, but I'll get there.
It's funny as you say that. Oh, sorry, Yelta. I was just going to say it's funny that when you say that, it takes me down a memory lane, and I forget all the little nuances and changes that they've done in all that time, like roll actions. I forget. I take that for granted now. You know, I look at it as like a cross-class thing, but how long ago it's been changed, and there was a time before that, and all the other little things that have been changed along the way.
Well, it keeps getting me too. The biggest thing for me is the nostalgia keeps overwhelming me. It's just kicking my ass. It's like seeing the twins in the very opening cutscene into Alda. And then the first time I saw Nanama and Raoban and Meryl Webb and, you know, the leader of Grid, and they just mentioned, Louis Soif for the first time. I swear I teared up a little bit, you know? And then I saw the Asians, and I had, like, Yelta and I were going through all the Asians, and I had a visceral reaction to, like, seeing Livia again. You know?
The Garleans, yes.
Or
yes.
Garlean, excuse me, Garlean.
What was that bitch's name?
Yes! The bitch, yeah. And then, like, just even going into, I saw the name Costa del Sol for the first time in a really long time, and I squealed a little, because I know Yelta and I went out there for a bunch of photo shoots, and we went out as a whole free company for a photo shoot there once, and I remember how much fun that was, you know? There's so many memories that I'd forgotten, and they're just piling back on, and I really did used to have a really good time in this game, and I'd kind of forgotten.
Mr. Face remembers that.
I was going to ask you.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Mr. Face's account.
Yes.
Had screenshots of him watching us.
Yes, it was wonderful.
Oh, and I forced Kariri to do Hall of the Novice. She's like,
yes.
What the hell is the Hall of the Novice? And I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, you're going to know everything in there, but you need that ring.
Yeah.
Yep, so I ran through and did all of that, and I was like, this would have been so nice back, like, when we used to play Final Fantasy XI, because that's, Yelta, one of our favorite stories is me starting to play Final Fantasy XI with Yelta. I didn't understand why all the monsters were hitting me, and why everyone wanted all the monsters to hit me, and I was very upset by this. So, like, in a serious way, though, like, this is a tank, you're supposed to hold all these guys, that's your job, and then they'll take care of you, you know? It's like, having those lessons for beginning players, if this is their first MMO, is fantastic. I'm so glad they have that now.
Good stuff. I love it. It's funny you mentioned Hall of the Novice, because, like, we wish they would add so much more to it, like the stack markers and all the other stuff that has been changed. That'll be another nice change for you when you see stack markers or different things, dooms, and now they're all healed or taken off by some other ability, or different ways that you have to stack and move. There's just so much. This game has so much. So,
it's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
It's awesome. Well, cool. I'm glad you're having a good time. I hope throughout this episode we get to touch on your knowledge or maybe your sproutness and get a Sprout's point of view of some of the stuff that's going on. So, sweet. Glad you're back.
Thank you.
I guess I'll talk about the crap I did, which wasn't much. Because it was just, well, I'm still having some health stuff, and I hate to whine, but I wasn't able to play as much as I'd like to. But I did get a few things done. I don't remember if I talked about the last time, but we did a little Eureka at one point, and I think I was only able to join you guys one time, but we ran some folks through Eureka. There is a long-term event. We're trying to get to Baldizian Arsenal, and I feel like in some way I sparked an interest in the free company to go back through Eureka, because I went through Eureka recently. If you've been following along, I got my Eureka relic on Summoner, and I quite enjoyed what Eureka was bringing to the table, even in 5.0, since it's 4.0 content. So the free company's been running folks through, getting them ranked up. I joined for, I believe it was a Pagos night, and we had a good time. It was, once you finish Eureka, you're like, oh no, Pagos is fine. It's fine, because you're past it. But when you're in it for the first time, you're like, oh my God, this is so much different. But it's fine. It was good. And, I personally will probably try to get a second weapon. I'm going to have to do some farming for light, because I missed, too many Pagos runs, and now everybody's up to Pyros, which is great. Relic, reflect farming and such. And then we'll slowly creep up to getting enough folks to do BA. I know our friend Chili from Moogle Go Round just got a BA clear. Congrats, Chili. So, the big flex is getting that mount. That's what you want.
I need the mount, and I need that minion, but the mount especially.
Oh, that Osmo mount.
That's
Gotta
what I need.
So, we'll get everybody there, and I think it'll be fun. I'm hearing good things. There's a positive outlook, as long as you got a good shot caller, I'm hearing. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm on board. I wanna get that done. Like I said, a big reason I wanted to do Eureka was that we're going to Old Charlayan, right? We got this whole storyline about the students of Baldizian, and it needs to get rectified. So I felt the need to take care of that. And I feel like BA is like the final step, the cherry on the cake of getting that Old Charlayan lore before we approach its shores. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Endwalker. I'm really excited for Endwalker because I just did the Rising. I knocked that out tonight. I've been really slow to getting to these events, and I know the Rising's still ongoing. It's not much of a spoiler, though. Everybody knows what the Rising's about. You see Yoshida, and he's like, thanks for playing my game. Here's an item. And then fireworks. So that's not much of a spoiler, but they showed a big picture of the moon, and it got me kind of moon pumped. They flexing that new AF. So I was like, all right, I'm ready for some Endwalker. I've been ready, but this is Yoshida just kind of taunting you with some Endwalker right before. And I am happy. This is a good time of the year for me. If you're a newer listener, just to reflect on past memories, because, like on my Facebook page, I get to see stuff from whatever ago. 8 years ago, not only was it the Rising, but I got a chance to meet Yoshida-san at the PAX Prime party in 2013 when the game launched, and I met my wife in line at that
oh
signing.
My gosh.
And that's the dream, right? You meet that special someone through your hobby, and through podcasting, and through this game, and meeting Yoshida. I met my wife and have a beautiful son now, and life is good. Things are happy, and I'm thankful for this game. I'm thankful for the friends. I'm thankful for the Sumasu sisters. It's nice. This game has brought good people together, and throughout all the ups and downs, this is a good place to be. So enjoy Final Fantasy XIV. I think that's Yoshida's message. There's more to come. He says there'll always be hardships. There'll be more hardships ahead. Of course, we'll have to fight more baddies in game. we might have to deal with more bad tanks in dungeons or bad healers who are spiteful or whatever we're dealing with.
Long login queues.
Long login queues. Can't get on my favorite server because my favorite streamer is on there. You know, that kind of stuff. Anyway, life's good. Glad to be here. And I will kick this over to Yelta to hear what she did the last 3 weeks, I guess.
I did some more Eureka with the Free Company. I think you were there one of the nights we went. And then mostly I've been leveling alts, just low level, boring old alts, but it's so... Kariri is right. Just fetch questing and stuff like that. It's kind of relaxing like mining is in Minecraft, you know? It's not real hard. You don't have to use your whole brain, and you're entertained. And you still feel like you're getting something done, a sense of progression. So running low-level alts has been really fun for me. And then while I was on one of my low-level alts, a GM sent me a message that he wanted me to switch to my main so he could give me my 2 missing titles. So I did.
Oh, neat!
I got my two. They were legacy titles, right? Yeah. 2 missing legacy titles. So.
Let me guess. It's Crystal Bearer and what's the other one?
Cascadier.
Okay.
Cascade. I don't know how you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same exact ones you were missing. If I remember correctly.
That's correct.
Yes, because I stalked you on the forum and went and found your original post from when you did it.
Well, they don't help you on the forums. You have to do it in game. I had to beg, I think, twice before it got rectified. I think you have a similar story.
I put it on the forum, and then they sent me a form, another different thing to fill out. They didn't abandon me. They didn't just move it to not enough info. They did move my post to not enough info. But they also followed up by sending me a message in-game with what to send them. And then it took a long time, though, to actually get the titles back. But, I mean, it's not like my character was logged out somewhere and couldn't get logged in. You know, it wasn't that kind of issue. Not, you know, I'm glad I eventually got them, but I'm not really mad that it took this long. But I got them, and I'm wearing one of them now, but I probably won't wear. Honestly, the funny thing is I probably won't wear either one of them that much, because the one I'm the most proud of from 1.0 is the Wanderer's Shadow, and that's attuning with every aetherite in the game, and that used to be hard.
Oh, that's right.
Very hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our link shell went through and did several of them together, and then I think, Kariri, you remember him? He still plays. He always plays a tank.
Aragon?
Starts with a T. No, he's not even in any of my free companies or anything. Oh, Theseus. Remember Theseus?
Oh, Theseus, yeah.
His last name starts with a B. Anyway, on like one of the last couple nights before the final save was going on, I had one left and I could not get there. You pretty much needed to bring someone with you to sacrifice themselves. And that's what he did. He ran out there, ran the mobs away. I attuned and raised him when it was done. It was just like, I don't know why. It just meant a lot to me that someone would, go out and get themselves killed to help me just get a title. So
that's great.
And then the other thing I did is roll and play a brand new alt with Kariri. And that was fun. I couldn't make a character on Excalibur the first time in that night when I tried. So... And we threw them both in the free company. I don't know how much we'll play them, but they're there for now. All right, and that was pretty much it. I kind of been busy with moving stuff and been playing other Final Fantasy games. I finished Final Fantasy 1, 2, and I'm on 3 now. So that's been a hell of a good time.
How are you enjoying those? Are those a good time?
They're okay. They're old school Final Fantasy games. And I'm just enjoy playing them. It's the stories aren't like amazing or anything, but they're fun. But no, I'm liking them a lot. And once I do a lot of my grinding in between matches of Dead by Daylight because it's a light enough game that I just make the window not cover my whole screen. It's a light enough game that it can run while Dead by Daylight's running and not suck too much of my resources. So I just grind and, level up and get money in between Dead by Daylight bouts or do a dungeon or whatever. I'm enjoying the heck out of them. once I figured out how to change the font, because that really bothered me. I don't remember what the other thing was, but two things bothered me, and some site had said how to fix both, and it worked, and I'm enjoying them a lot. I think they're worth the money, but
I think a flickering issue, something with full screen flickering, something like that.
Excuse me.
Screen tearing. Something.
There was something with screen tearing, and the cure was just not to play it in full screen. Well, I think it looks dumb in full screen anyway because it's an old pixel game, So I've just been playing it on a little smaller window. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what, like, the later ones. I don't know if I'll want to change the display, but so far I've been having a good time.
Well, it sounds like we're getting 4 pretty soon, so that'll be nice just before Endwalker. We'll have a refresher for Final Fantasy IV.
That's right, only the first 3 are out. Oh, Ruby, and I thought of you, because I'm playing 3, and I don't know where I was. Might have been the end of 2. And I'm hearing all this music that I don't even remember from old Final Fantasy games, but it's in 14. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure they were existent songs. I just don't remember them. I'm like, I know this song from 14.
It's probably that overworld music in 3
It might be.
Hearing. Yeah.
It might be. Yeah. No, having a good time. All right. You can shoot the shit with us on the website. Go to www.ffxiv.com and let us know what you've been up to. And bought us around. Thank you, Drill, on Patreon for his donation, and a new patron, Lithia. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Thank you.
First round is news. The Rising returns August 27th. We already talked about this. I think we've all done it. It's short and sweet. Just, thank you for, being an adventurer and supporting the game, kind of. And here have some potpourri and an umbrella. And it's always kind of nice because they break that fourth wall and are like, thank you for supporting our game.
I like the extra story about it. The bitching I heard was about the rewards. How do y'all feel about these rewards?
The Rising is always right on the end of the summer one. I don't really expect much from the Rising. They've given us minions before, I think. I think a fashion accessory and some, and that's the time of year you can always buy the Realm Reborn Red and the other stuff. So stock up now if you need those other fireworks. I didn't think there was anything wrong with the reward. It's such a quick quest. It's not like I don't know.
I don't know that I was expecting anything big from just a one-off quick event. And yeah, I mean, it's cute. It's nothing super special or anything, but yeah, it's one more new item.
I personally don't have anything wrong with it. I don't typically use umbrellas in the game. I forget they exist, and I don't have them hotkeyed to anything. I use those menus that disappear. I've been helping Cinna with it, and I can't remember what they're called. The nested menu kind of thing, the HUDs. And I could put a little thing for fashion, but I'm just like, I don't ever think about the umbrellas or whatever. I probably should add it to my little menus, but it's just not something I typically use. So I'm like, take it, leave it, whatever. But I think you're right. There's never really been some kind of like knock your socks off kind of thing, other than a couple years ago when they made
the
White
Ravens around. Yeah, that's 2018. And sometimes they do music. It's often been a minion. I don't really care for the fashion accessories either, but at least everyone can use them, Mm-hmm. And there wasn't like a game. There wasn't a new game, right?
Right.
Like some of the events have had like a game to play.
Yeah, they have the stage up in this, but I never saw any kind of performers or nothing was really going on with it, so that was a little odd for me. I mean, I guess the Wandering Minstrel will do a show, but it just was the stage. I guess it's like, hey, start the quest here. Ta-da.
Yeah, they didn't have like NPCs ever go up on the stage or do much, so I don't know. I don't expect much from the Rising.
No.
So
what was really funny is you mentioned the moon thing and the next expansion, and being new and not around and not knowing anything about the expansion, I didn't catch that. I just thought it was absolutely surreal that there he is floating with me in front of a moon. I'm like, what is happening right now? I had no idea what was going on, but I'm like,
the mushrooms were kicking in.
That's kind of where I was at. Yeah.
Have you watched the Endwalker trailer or benchmark yet?
Me? No, I know nothing.
Okay.
I know nothing about it.
The moon is a zone we're going to. We're going to the moon.
That's so cool.
And something is apparently going on with the moon right now, but we'll let you get caught up and not spoil you. All right, we have an update regarding the data center congestion for the North American and European servers. I know they've added increased login caps. That's August 24th. They did that, and then they're classifying all the Aether data center worlds as congested. They want to add more servers and stuff, but I think they're still having trouble with, especially COVID-19, slowing down hardware, personnel, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's going back to that issue with the chips. They can't get enough the technology. They can't get the stuff put in, get over to where they need it to go because of COVID-19. And the sentiment I saw after this came out largely was from new players. Now this is on Twitter, I'm seeing this, but largely from new players who are like, this is refreshing. And I'm thinking they're WoW refugees, but they're saying, wow, this is refreshing that your producer actually comes out and tells you what's happening, is transparent, and we can live with that, So it's not great. You can't make a character on Aether, and a lot of that has to do with my little tongue-in-cheek joke earlier, is that a lot of streamers are on Aether. The dreaded Asmongold is on. I'm joking. Is on Aether, as well as myriad other Twitch and YouTube and whoever else. Top down, they're out there, and 14 is just a popular game right now. So it's going to have a lot of congestion. People want to be Twitter famous or whatever, Twitch famous, so they want to jump up and down in front of their favorite streamer, and people just want to be where the buzz and the action is. And there was a time where it's like, hey, this is where you go when you want to clear content. Come to Aether. There's the better raid leaders and such. Yeah, and every data setter seems to have its own kind of I want to say mystique, but more like stigma. So this is just really what happened. There's just too many people on Aether, and they can't get away to add more. But thankfully they're doing what they can. So that was the nice part about the little additional stuff they did for the NA and then subsequently the EU data centers. And Oceania's coming soon, and we'll see what happens after that. So hopefully things get better.
All right, and then we had a Tales from the Twilight. I'm going to turn it over to Ruby, who I think actually read it. I meant to, and I got distracted.
I actually skimmed it. Yeah, absolutely. No, I did read it. I read all of it. It's a nice tale. It's about Yugiri and Heian. Of course, what threw me off was I forgot that Heian's nickname from his mother is Shun, and I'm like, okay, this is Shun, but I know it's Heian, so what's the deal? I had to look that up after the fact. But cute little story about the two kind of training in their youth. I don't know if this was alluded to in any way that they knew each other as children at some point, but that's how the story goes. And there's some intrigue with the Empire, and then an attack from an enemy that almost kills Yugiri, and Heian has to stop the attack, and then Gosetsu shows up, and then there's a cool little scene where Gosetsu's talking to a guard about letting the kids go. So it's pretty neat. I think the top of the story is a little less cool than the bottom, It gets better as it goes, is what I'm trying to say. But it's nice. What else jumped out to me, it wasn't the story as much as the number of stories that we're getting. At least we do have a date. They tell us the date. I don't remember. Refresh my memory here, Yelta, and Kariri as well. Do we get 4 stories or is it 8 stories?
It's like 4 or 5 or I can't remember.
Because I recall us getting like 4 stories at a time, maybe for a total of 8 sometimes, or maybe it's just 4 stories in general. I'll have to go back to some of the other special tales to see how that goes. But we are getting 5 in this round, so I'm interested to see. It seems to me like this time they're telling some stories of characters that we haven't touched on in an expansion or 2. So I'm thinking maybe we'll get something with some other city leaders that we haven't checked in on, or maybe some patrons from over there in Ishgard. Some people we haven't checked in with for a hot minute.
Usually they're pretty good. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I just got totally sucked in here reading the story. I literally popped it open just to see what you were talking about, and now I'm sitting here reading it, which is why I'm so quiet. I'd forgotten they do this, which is funny because I adore all of their lore. Like, the lore of this world is one of my favorite things about it. So I love that they're still doing this. Like, 10 years in, and they're still storytellers. I love that so much.
No, it's important. I think lore is, especially this game, you basically have to like lore or you have to ignore it.
Yes.
You know, it kind of forces you to play through the lore, so hopefully you like it. All right, and we have new optional items and adventure celebration sale. Again. So what do we got? Fantasias. We got the Play Dead emote, which is the best. And
yes.
I support anybody who wants to get that.
Buy that. If there's anything that you buy on the Mog Station, you gotta buy Play Dead. It's the best
so
emote.
Good. Oh, the Chocobo Carriage, which I did buy, but is so big I don't like riding it. Okay. The motorcycle, is that the one that has faster land speed than other land mounts?
Or rumored to, or it did, or something. Yes.
I don't know if it still does or not.
There's a yes in there somewhere.
Yeah. And a couple of outfits. They're pretty cute. And then this was the stuff from the Rising last year, I think, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
The painting.
Yeah, that was that tale with the 7 people who were saving the Sultana. All
right, and we have the latest episode of Duty Commenced is up. It was actually on Twitch when I was trying to figure out how to use my Fire Cube on my TV. I didn't get around to watching it, but I did see it was on there.
Let me mute this and play it and see what we got. I think this is aired at my house. I just hadn't tuned in because my dear Sinna, I believe, had it on. I remember seeing Aya's face on my TV recently. It looks like they climbed Kugani Tower, cute, with their umbrellas out, and they jumped onto the lamppost, which, of course, I got by dying as a blue mage in front of it and somebody resurrecting me onto.
Same.
There's perks to being a blue mage. Don't diss those limited jobs. Every time, ladies, I'm on the forums and I read somebody who has a crackpot idea for a new job and they say limited job next to it, it never fails within 2 posts. It's, I hate limited jobs. Don't ever do a limited job again. Limited jobs are trash. I'm not going to defend nor attack limited jobs. I'm just saying that is the de facto response whenever somebody says, here's my puppet master idea, here's my beast master idea, here's my chemist idea.
I still think they should do Beastmaster. I think it would have the same sort of aesthetic of fighting monsters and making them your friends versus stealing their abilities. And then let limited job people all run stuff together.
See, that is where I think it would be awesome, is if there was another job or two other jobs, that there was some sort of synergy that they could build up on, and those limited jobs could somehow do that. And I guess the other hope would be if the limited jobs had some way to break out into the real world once you passed their limited state, which might be fucking cool. Like if you could really use Blue Mage abilities with other in other content. There's no way they could balance that, I guess. They can't balance healers. How the fuck are they going to balance moving Blue Mage into real content? But maybe it's possible. I don't know. I do think it would be cool to have another limited job work together and expand upon the Colosseum or add something else where they both can work in synergy together. But, you know, that's almost a far-fetched idea. People don't want to waste resources. They'll blame the limited job for if something else sucks. They'll say, it's the limited job's fault. The same that we did with the Minion mini game, the Gold Saucer, you know, wasting talent.
Somebody spent time on this.
Yeah. Send us your hate mail about how you hate limited jobs, listener.
Well, what's funny is, you know, someone in our free company has a group, and they've been doing all of the Blue Mage stuff, all of the Blue Mage group content. What is it, like clearing raids and stuff? Right,
clearing Koyo, clearing Alexander.
People are doing it. It is content that people are using. It may not be the most. It's probably more people than they're doing Ultimate, though.
What they should have done, Yelta, I think it's amazing. I think it's great that they put those mounts and stuff. What they should have done is put a multiple person mount. That Malboro should hold multiple people per tentacle.
4 people. Yeah.
And if it could hold 4 people, I think people would be like all over that shit. Big time. But I think there is an interest by doing that. I agree with you.
All right. It looks like they did some PvP and did community commendations shown off in the episode.
Oh, speaking of PvP, I think I've seen some sentiment recently of people dedicating to the final days of the feast. So I don't know if people are trying to get into the feast these last few days. The feast is going away, you know, or some capacity or whatever. So I suspect that there has been a greater increase in feast activity in recent months.
Not just because it's going away?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, I probably should have gone back and tried the feast some more, but just that, I don't know. I kind of got bitched at the first time I even queued up for the low-level stuff.
6 years ago, Yelta. Let it go. Let it go.
I'll let it go. I'll let it go. All right, announcing the weapon design contest. They want you to design a weapon. Let's see, 2021, it's a promotion. So, a weapon of your choice from all currently existing jobs. They have official rules and territories, and the entry period is August 30th through October 4th. Create a digital image of a weapon you would like to see implemented in the game for any of the jobs, including Blue Mage. Any of the jobs currently in-game. Each as an image that complies with the following requirements, collectively the entry. And they've got design templates and size limitations and whatever.
I'm clicking on one to see what this looks like.
Yeah. All entries must be the original creative work of the entrant submitting the entry, so you can't submit someone else's stuff, and you can submit multiple entries, but each one must be unique and submitted separately. So they got some examples here.
Oh, I'll draw one. Why not?
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because, you know, I always enjoy it when I see the furniture and the other stuff that they've implemented in the game based on contests. Why not? So,
I'm just looking at the prizes, and the Bluebird earring, that's been forever,
this is
right?
why I love you, Kariri. This is...
Yes.
You're back. Welcome to the right show. You are right where you belong.
Welcome to the Bluebird earring, the Mask of Wondrous, Scarf of Wondrous Wit, the Mandragoran.
The same.
All of that stuff is the same.
It's all the same, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Okay, now, they did give us the Great Paraserpent umbrella. Kariri does not know about the Great Serpent of Ranka and why we worship him.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I was going to ask.
I have a minion of him, and he's just the best. And it's one of the best side quests in the entire fucking game. Yeah. I love it.
It's a good.
I don't know why I
have to check that out.
Yeah, that's part of Shadowbringer. No. Yeah, Shadowbringers. But honestly, you get comfortable tanking again, I think you will fly through the storyline.
I'm pretty sure it's going to go fast, yeah.
I think the hairstyle's new since you've played. And maybe
that cap is new. I have not seen the cap.
Hat.
Yeah, noble barding existed. I know at least, most of them existed before, but that cap is just wild.
Well, it's only in the last few contests. For years, it's been Ruby and I going, oh, look, it's the blueberry earrings, and oh, look, it's the scarf of wondrous wit. Which really cracks me up is, oh, this is new since you've been gone. When we have a content drought, a lot of times they put a Moogle in all of the 3 main cities that sells some of the rarer stuff that you couldn't get other ways. And they make you run certain content to get tokens to buy it. So it's to get you to log in and grind a bit.
Oh.
And I think the Scarf of Wondrous Wit, I do it all the time. But I think the Scarf of Wondrous Wit was one of the items that was in there. It
absolutely was. I'm not even sure if it was a tombstone. I think they sold it for gil that time. It might have been just prior to them doing the tombstones. It was still the itinerant Moogle, but I don't know that we were using the tombstones at the time because we were like, what the fuck is this doing in here? This is a prize. Wow. Yeah. Crazy
shit. This is something new, so yeah. But anyway, I do enjoy them throwing a contest. I respect they have slowly been adding in. Well, then now if they added too much stuff in here, people would complain that they couldn't get them all, or they're putting all the cool stuff in contests. So they probably can't win. They should still fix the triple triad packs, though.
Oh, don't get me started. I bitched about that last time. Don't get me riled up again. I didn't even do the last triple triad tournament because I was so soured on the previous one.
No.
Kariri, if you missed it, I got number 9 in all of Excalibur. And
I listened this morning.
And I got La Habrea cards. So
it's ridiculous. I think I have La Habrea cards.
Thanks, Yoshida.
Thanks, Yoshida. All right, the Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, The Art of Reflection, Histories Unwritten. The pre-orders are ongoing. I don't remember if I probably did. I probably did order this. I don't know. It comes with a wind-up runar, and it's released on September 28th. I have all these other art books, and I just enjoy having. It's one of those things I enjoy having them. I flip through them briefly, and then they just sit on the shelf being beautiful. But I have them, and I have the minion.
They are gorgeous.
They are gorgeous.
I can only have so much shit. I think we really just gravitate toward the lore books. Cinna has some wow lore books that we keep on the shelf. Wow. And we have also volume 1 and 2 of the Final Fantasy XIV lore books. So we're doing the whole lore book thing. I'm not sure. We might have a couple of we might have the Heavensward one and maybe one other. So there's definitely some interest in this house. I really love the pictures that they're showing here, especially the Blue Mage one. I think it looks pretty sweet. I got that cane recently, even though I think it's totally for glamour now because you can get better weapons. And I love that cane, that bomb with the little blue bomb at the front of it, top of it. Oh, it's so cute.
It's a good one. Final Fantasy XIV Vinyl LP Box now available. See, now this is something I would probably skip. I don't have a record player, and even just owning them probably wouldn't do that much for me, but a Realm Reborn LP, Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers. I'm assuming that's the cover art or something. It's pretty nice looking, honestly. Oh yeah, yep, it's the album cover. And you get MP3 download codes. I just don't know if I would do what I would even do with it.
It's
pretty. The box is pretty.
I think
unless you're building a wall display with a shelf that you have them on or something, putting them in a frame or something. I mean, like you say, you don't have a record player, so you wouldn't use them for that. But if you're going to use them for decor purposes, they might be worth it. But I don't know. It depends what they cost.
Oh, I was just there. I could tell you what they cost.
I can tell you right now, it's $30 a pop. I'm looking at it
No.
because this is what I was interested in. These are LPs. These are albums. This is on vinyl. Us three understand vinyl, and we understand
box is $100.
that the number of tracks that you put on a vinyl is not the same number of tracks you can put on a CD, especially not a Blu-ray. So I was like, how are they going to put this music on here? Well, it's just as I thought. There's 11 songs on it. The entire soundtrack for Realm Reborn is much larger than 11 tracks, so I'm sure this is kind of a best of or a select thing. So I don't really think anybody's using this for the music. This is what Kariri's saying.
Up on their shelf.
It's to put on the shelf, but it is expensive.
Yeah, I hope they sell them. I hope there are people who want them, but I don't think I need this. Doesn't have a minion, that's why.
See, okay, and I'm such a bad influence because I'm looking at these and I'm thinking about the blank, empty walls in your new house.
Mm-hmm. I could really display some cool stuff.
You really could. You could take your whole Final Fantasy collection of stuff and do a nice setup in your gaming room, and I could just see these in frames on a little display. I think it'd be adorable.
Get your credit card.
That's
out.
actually what I envisioned too. Was all the album covers on in a frame or something.
Yeah.
They are beautiful.
They are beautiful. I don't think they're $100 beautiful, though. That's part of the problem.
That's the other thing, yeah.
Now, when you said $30, I was thinking, $30 for the whole set. I thought that'd be cool. No, not $100. $100 is a lot. Kinda.
I guess.
All right.
I dropped, $350 on that damn watch that's coming out? So.
But you can wear that every day.
That is true.
To. Yeah. Of course, I bought the Mahjong set, and I don't even really know how to play Mahjong. I don't think we've ever played with those tiles. I open the box occasionally and just run my hands over it.
Yeah, we touched them a little, but we
touched
them.
Breathe the air off of them.
The case is actually nice. I actually really like the case. All right, we got a couple of reminders, honestly. I don't think we could find the source of this, but apparently the live letter from the producer is Saturday, September 18th. I'm having trouble finding some of the news. I don't know if they're putting it in other streams or if they're putting them on Facebook more now. I couldn't find it on Twitter, but the info we have, Saturday, September 18th.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure this has a lot to do with Endwalker. And we'll see some more stuff.
I heard Job. People are hoping for the Job actions video.
That would be cool.
Time for that, right?
That would be cool. Would they do something this early for Job actions? I think that's a little premature.
It's September and it's not out till November. I still haven't run the benchmark, guys.
What? For real?
For real? I think I downloaded it. I don't know.
I just did it just to watch it over and over. I mean, I know the video was there, but I just like seeing my character in it. And
I have to go watch this.
It's great. Oh, it's so good.
So you know what the new jobs are, though?
Yeah, yes. Absolutely. Would you like to know what the new jobs are?
Yes, I would.
They're finally giving us a new healer, but it's weird. To me, it's weird. It's called a sage, and it has little magical things that fly out around its back, and it can. I think is that one a shield healer?
It's a shield healer. That's right.
Yeah, I think Astrologian and White Mage are going to be direct healing, and then Scholar and Sage will be shield healing, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I've already forgot what the other one. Reaper's the other one. It's kind of like they've got a scythe, and they kind of not really summon something. I don't remember now.
Final Fantasy XI Dark Knight. Yelta. Think that.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it looks badass, and the AF looks badass, and whatever. So those are the two new jobs.
Interesting.
And I'm so glad they gave us a healer, though. But I'm worried for Astrologians because they're going to do something to Astrologian.
Yeah, but I've read some thoughts that maybe it's not so drastic. I mean, you drop the Nocturnal set, and then what? You kind of just adjust a little bit about the rest of it. I don't know that there'll be any major adjustment to the cards. I don't see them doing...
Because they already fucked the cards. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah.
They already fucked the cards. I mean...
I don't think they'll even touch... I mean, of course they have to add abilities, but I don't know that White Mage is broken in any way. I mean, the only bitching I hear about White Mage is it needs a better attack combo.
I
There's
want
clipping.
Arrow 3 back.
I
want Arrow 3
I'm with you.
AoE dot back. That's what I want.
I'm with you. I think every healer class should have an AoE dot of some way, or a way to hit a button and make something AoE if need be.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, even if you like buffed your next.
Yeah,
whatever.
if it was a 60-second pop, that turns your next spell into a AoE. I mean, something.
Yeah. Well, I've heard complaints about White Mage that it's just too boring, straightforward, and easy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a basic bitch. So
I mean,
sure.
I think that's the point. That's your job flavor, right there. Sorry,
your job flavor is basically pure healer.
It's pure healer.
Yeah. All right, and we at Gather Together have the Sweet Dream contest currently going on. To enter, take a screenshot of your character with something sweet. Send it to us on Twitter at GTFFXIV with the hashtag GTSweetDream. Contest runs from the August 15th through September 30th. One winner gets the Chocopoker mount code, and you can enjoy running around on a brand new chocolatey mount.
Mm-hmm. Your Butterfinger.
Butterfinger mount. What do we still have? We still have
a black chocobo.
A black chocobo for the next contest.
That's right. Right.
I am Googling what this thing is right now.
It's pretty cute.
It's a palette swap of an existing mount that we had. The little bouncy green dude with the drip. I don't know his name.
Cocopur.
Cocopur.
I think it was just Cocopur
Cocopur
with a K. It's so funny because I actually really love Butterfingers. It's one of my favorite, and I know a lot of people think they're gross, but my husband that day came home with probably enough chocolate to get like 2 mounts. I should have like on another email address sent in another receipt, but oh well. All right, what's on tap? Developers blog and tracker. We have 2 dev blogs. We have the moon sets on the fair, the sun rises for the rising. So we just finished having Moonfire Fair, and now we're having the rising, and they just basically are giving us the dates again and some screenshots and how to participate. Nothing, honestly, that we haven't already talked about, but it's all in a nice little post, so if you want to check that out, do. And then we also had Ready, Set, Bake for Final Fantasy's 8th birthday. All right, so let me see. What do we have?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Oh, no, I've seen this. That birthday cake with the Spriggans and the Moogle. Yes, and the Cactars. That is an amazing cake. And the recipe's below in the video. Awesome.
Is this the fulfillment of the promise of 1.0 of the Lalafels all baking the cake together? Or is this something
that looks
different?
like one woman, not a free company.
Damn it.
We're never getting Free Company crafting the way we envisioned it, or the ability to free companies to own an Ifrit summon. Remember that?
Oh, that's right.
Remember that? You were supposed to be able to, one free company at a time could own the summon.
Can you imagine that? If people were bitching over so-and-so has the summon. It would be just like all the posts I see about some FC has 21 houses in a ward.
Okay, that's bullshit, though. That
what is
no
bullshit?
one needs all those houses. But, yeah. Well, and we always figured even if they made it so, if our free company got the Ifrit summon, it would time out after a couple of days or something if you didn't use it. But, yeah. That's a pretty cool cake.
I'm watching it work. Let me skip ahead. This will take too long. Oh, she's making little... So I guess this is fondant. I don't know. I don't bake.
The gingerbread cactars are just killing me. And the Spriggan.
I might need to. Someone actually was selling Spriggan cookie cutters.
Really?
I think I almost ordered them. Yeah, Etsy or something.
Oh, this is so cute at the end. This is adorable.
People are so fucking talented and creative. It's awesome. All right, and then we have happy hour. We have some tweets. I will just read to you. I don't know how to say that, but Jimmy replied to, just listen to this episode. Interesting and good episode as always. I'm new to the game. Yes, one of those WoW refugees, so I'm always searching for new content and info about the game. Well, thanks for letting us know. And then then you replied again. Just some info when you were talking about maximums and boosters. What were we talking about? What was his name?
His name was Maximum something or another.
Maximum something.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so this person came out and said under no circumstances were they interested in 1 iota of lore, leveling up. All he wanted to do was endgame. So he used a booster and got up there. And the other part of it was, just so Kariri doesn't go, what? He had buy-in for everybody who was going to go with him. All he wanted to do was all of the raids. And he had buy-in for the 7 other people. They were okay with that. So they were going to go do all the raids.
Blind, right?
Blind, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I think it's a disservice to humanity to use a jump pot and jump into content with random people because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So initially my knee-jerk reaction was, you're an ass. But then when I found out that this had a plan and people bought in and everything. But anyway, so Jimmy goes on to say, he's one of the best guilds. He's in one of the best guilds in WoW in the world. They took world first, second last raid, and got second place last raid that came out. So not just your average streamer. Good discussion about this, and I agree with you. I think in the episode we kind of came down with, do what you want if you got a pre-made.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And we were assuming he knew how to read his abilities if he was going to go raid blind, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So good. Thank you for the update though, because we were assuming he wasn't just your average MMO player or noob or anything.
Yeah,
he was willing to do this. So so that's cool.
I wanted to be neutral on this guy because I don't know anything about Maximum. I don't know what he's like. I don't know his background. I'm trying to take it like blank slate, the same way when we discussed Asmongold coming into the game, right? Like, the guy's been playing WoW for years. There's baggage. I'm trying to look at it from every stream from Final Fantasy 14 because I'm looking at it this is a 14 podcast, not an Asmongold, not a Maximum podcast, not a WoW podcast. So that's my point of view when I look at it. I had not, the Asmongold stuff to me is still funny. There's some things, whatever. But this, in the same way, I'm like, not boosting Maximum, not dissing him. It's nice to get some context here, where he's at with it. I think most people that when I've read this, because there's forum posts that are similar to this that are like, hey, if it's not hurting anyone else, I don't see what the problem is. So that's my opinion on it. Kariri, do you have an opinion on this guy? And then if you do or don't have an opinion, I've got a forum post that I want us to look at because I want to share something wacky after that. But Kariri, do you have an opinion on
Okay, I'm coming in here with zero prior knowledge of this whatsoever, but here's what I'll say. If this was some random guy who just jumped from 0 to 80 by himself and just jumped into blind with other people who actually worked their way up, I would have a problem with that. If they're doing it with a whole group of people who have all agreed to this beforehand, that's a totally different thing, and more power to them. If they just want to test their skill from other games and see how it compares in this game, that could be an interesting test, and I wouldn't mind seeing the results of that. Like, I know how much I don't know if struggling's the right word, but I'm having trouble coming back to level 60 after not playing for a very long time. So I can't imagine coming into this stuff blind. So I think that would be really interesting personally.
Well, and two things to remember. A jump potion only takes you to 70, right? So he still has to level 10 levels.
So he'll know some of his abilities at least. Yeah.
So and doing ultimate requires you clear Savage. So for those raids, there's normal mode, which pretty much any group of 24 morons can do, and I'm one of those morons. And then there's Savage, which you have to know what buttons to push and where to be. You have to clear those before you can go on to Ultimate. So he's going to have to play. So I'm hoping he's playing with those same people or, at least reads his tooltips. So, he does have to play a bit before he can just jump in. And Ruby pointed out, too, this person's a streamer. He's doing this for, I'm assuming some is personal enjoyment and a feel of success and stuff. But, he wants to, play the game and have other people watch it and to be entertaining. So, it's...
Yeah. Well, and having that context from Jimmy, like, just the idea that, okay, they're people of a skill level that I think would be more capable of pulling this off than most people, than you would think of generally,
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't us, like, pulling some person through, an EX fight that probably had no business being loosed upon the party finder.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad you just said that, because I think all of that goes back to something we've preached forever and ever and ever, and that's about expectations. We've talked about this even within our free company, but like when you sign up on the party finder to do something, and you say, hey, I want to clear for X content, and you sign up for a clear party and you don't know shit about the fight, you got 7 people who signed up that you should, if it's a clear party, expect that everybody has seen up to Enrage, right? Or knows everything up to that point, whatever. And
Sure.
if you're the douche that joins the party and screws it up for everybody because you've only seen half of the fight or up to a certain mechanic or whatever else, and you keep failing that part, that ruins the expectation for them. What are you expecting? A carry? And 7 other people are expecting you to do your job right. So, and there's varying levels of expectation. You get people who think they're going to join a learning party and dictate the way everybody's going to learn. That's not right either. Go join join a one chest party, or so go somewhere else where other people are at your skill level. Don't come and ruin my learning party because you expect us to be better than what we are. So it's all about expectations. What has been clearly stated is that Maximum is playing with 7 other people who know the expectation. And if all 8 people are on the same page and they all are having a good time, fuck what anybody else thinks.
Oh, no. They have...
Exactly.
He's got consent at this point, right?
There you go. It's a good word.
He's got consent. Yep. Okay, that's real. It's loosing, expecting someone to do something you didn't want to do is shitty. Of course, I'm that dumb bitch who joined a party in the party finder. We get in there and zone in, and I'm like, while I zone in, I realize I'm in the wrong instance. I joined the wrong fucking party. I just told him straight out. I'm like, I'll leave and you can re-queue, but I thought this was whatever. And they were just chill about it. They're like, oh no. I'm like, they're like, have you done it? And I'm like, yeah, I've done it a few times. I don't remember it. They're like, we'll just go with it. So I had their consent at that point.
Yeah.
And we farmed it a few times. It's...
Well, and the consent of...
Sometimes you make mistakes too.
Yeah, I'd say in the consent of, hey, you were probably like, hey, if I wipe us 3-4 times or whatever and it ain't working, kick me and I don't feel bad and you guys don't feel bad or whatever else. And, however it worked, it ended up working. So that's...
My favorite, though. So Bell Dandy usually runs most of our parties in our free company. He likes to do content. He likes to take people with. He likes to call shots. He's a very good player. And it's so funny when we have like 7 out of 8 free company people, we put clearly what we're going to do in the party finder description. And we get in there, and you know how, unlike EXs, it's very standard. You put down this marker if you have to do clock spots. And you put down another marker, so everybody has to stand on their clock spot. And then you put down another marker so light party groups, that kind of thing. This person sat down at the edge of the thing and just let us all do what we're supposed to do. I think they wouldn't come into Discord. And then we wiped one. Ruby, were you there?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. I couldn't remember because I had already done it too. So but you still have to. So we wiped, and the person in the party, the one pug, was like, "Why don't you do it the safe way?" Well, Bell was like, "Nope." He's like, "Why would you join a party that had clearly put in its description the strat we were using?" And I think we did like one more thing, and he whined, and then we just went out and kicked him and went back in. Because it's like, no, you don't join another party that has this clear strategy posted. If you don't like that strat, then that's not the party for you. Find your people. Go find another party or start your own.
It's right back to expectations. The expectation was, if you joined our party, you're going to follow our rules.
And it's one thing to maybe suggest something, right? You know, I knew we were in trouble when he sat down at the edge of the circle and wouldn't stand to pick his clock spot and wouldn't stand to pick his leg.
Was too good
and
for
then
us.
he's like, oh, I've cleared this.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
well,
it.
so have most of us. So fucking stand so we understand where everybody's supposed to be. It's so stupid. Anyway.
Expectations. Well, I wanted to also share, because this reminded me of a forum post. I go every day to the forums because I love to lose my sanity. And this one came up. Now, here's something with the forums, and this is something I've noticed as of late as I peruse. I don't know if there's just a lack of moderation, or if it's a lack of care, or maybe there was never any good moderation on the official forums or whatever. But there's just so many what I would call troll posts. We've talked about Titanman. We've talked about MPK. I'm not really trying to blow anybody's. I'm not trying to like promote or blow up anybody. But there are certain people who post repeatedly, and they're like, you're like, is this for real? Are you for real about this comment? Whatever. Maybe they are. But this is one I read, and I was like, okay. And it's called Dear Ex-WoW Players, which is already starting off with a bang. Kariri, if you're not up to speed on this, there has been a massive WoW influx. WoW players are coming in by the droves, partly because WoW kind of blows right now. I can't speak to that, but ask them. They are in a lull of some sort. And 14 is just kind of a hot place. And then you have some popular WoW streamers who have been promoting
all the rape.
game.
I mean,
all the what?
All the rape. I guess all the sexual harassment.
That too.
At Blizzard. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole Activision Blizzard thing could be a reason.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Let us not gloss over that. Thank you for the reminder. So there are many reasons why there are a lot of people coming over, and so. You know, what's funny is there's a lot of blame going around that these WoW players are just ruining the game, right? And that there's never been a problem with the 14 player base, great community, by the way, prior to this fact. But I want to read this one. And what I was saying is I can't tell if things are trolls or not anymore. But dear ex-WoW players, I am not sure if you ever realized that Final Fantasy XIV he put Final Fantasy X14 is not WoW. We don't have 1 million add-ons, tools, and so on for our classes. I try to level a tank, and God knows I'm new to it, and I make the first all-novice training, and I did some command missions before I tried a dungeon with random players, so I know what I have to do as a tank. But then here comes the ex-WoW player, ... Some random ex-WoW DD pull it all, and we wipe. The EX-WoW healer, I have never healed like this before. We wipe. Healer pulls mob, screams, tank taunt. Me just rolling my eyes. Some random ex-WoW player thinks it's funny to mark the tank in fight over and over again. And if you tell them to stop that, they call you toxic and difficult to play with. Me getting angry. Ex-WoW player. Tank, we have to go this or that way, runs first and gets all aggro. Me not trying not to bite. Ex-WoW player tries to tell the tank how to play. Me looking at that snob with fire glowing eyes. I try to do my job good, and you make it so hard that I already hate to be a tank, and that only after a few days. Don't tell me how to play my role if you're not a mentor or if you have not even one job max level. Woo! That was tough. The next post says, I am sure this post will end very productively, and it's just turned into just a swamp
I'm looking forward to the in-depth, awesome discussion with many fine points.
Oh, there's plenty of posts here with great rebuttals and nuanced takes on the WoW influx. I mean, it's highly toxic. Don't touch it with a 20-foot pole. But this is whether this is a troll or not. If it's a troll, like all good jokes, it's tongue in cheek because there's a reason behind it. There's some truth behind it. And the truth is there are a lot of people blaming WoW players for bringing the state of the game down. And I'm not sure that is entirely the case. It kind of goes back to all that boosting stuff, what we talked about last episode.
We've had god-awful players since day one. We've had players who all they ever did is read how a tank should pull wall to wall and not realize they actually had to push cooldowns. We've had healers who wanted to... Yeah, I don't know. We've had shitty players from day one. Mm-hmm. WoW had nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
we do have an influx of new players. Go ahead, Carrie. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, that's one of the first responses on here is, sure you're not confusing bad players with ex-WoW players? You encounter this kind of thing in all the MMOs I've played, WoW included, which it's exactly what it sounds like to me. You're going to have good players and bad players no matter what the game is.
Agreed.
No, absolutely. Well, and not to be... I'm going to get hate for this, but Final Fantasy XIV, first of all, has Final Fantasy in it, so we get a lot of Final Fantasy lovers. It's also been pitched as an excellent MMO for newbies, so we're going to get not bad players, but maybe inexperienced players also. Right. We have yes, we have WoW refugees, we have people who played all the MMOs under the sun. But Final Fantasy XIV is its own animal. But we do have a lot of people who just don't know any better, right? And we have people who, like Kariri, quit for a while, coming back, might not know the new meta.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? Or prefer a certain play style. It's I don't know. This is not new, though. This is not in the last 6 months new. This is not in the last 2 years new. All of that shit... If you go through my Twitter feed for the last 8 years, I complain about inexperienced or bad players or just complete asshats. This is not, and I haven't even hit it more than usual, honestly. I had a little trouble on an alt with a tank because I've had healers try. That's kind of new, maybe is. Healers trying to control how much the tank thinks they can take, and that's been real hard for me.
Sure.
That's the one I see the most on the forums that I think is not a troll post. I think there is, and this goes back to expectation, where dungeons are a muddled mess of expectation. We have talked about this ad nauseum. You don't believe me? Go back about 100 episodes. We've been talking about this. Remember, Yelta?
Anything you queue up for in the Party Finder.
Right. We've talked about the wall-to-wall pull conversation at length. Remember, we had the chain of emails. We had a listener that was sending us emails. I believe it was Mithrin, was sending us emails about the wall-to-wall pull, and we were discussing the difference between what is expected of people versus the what the game says to do. The game is wide open. If you can wall-to-wall pull, then you can wall-to-wall pull. But that's like setting a speed limit. We've talked about that before. I won't go too deep into that again. But you've got a muddled mess when you have a dungeon because anybody can hit Q for a dungeon. As long as you're up to that point, you can click Q for a dungeon. So with that muddled mess of expectations, you now do have, and I will give the WoW player argument here some credence, a very small bit of credence, is because I don't know how WoW plays as far as pulling ads. I know it's not all Leroy Jenkins, right? But I don't know how it is about pulling mobs, ads in dungeons in WoW. I don't know what the meta is in current WoW. I don't know anything about it. So there may be some sort of muddled expectation when a DPS runs ahead or a healer runs ahead or they pop you with a regen before you pull the mobs, whatever it is. But Yoshida has dumbed the abilities / dungeons down so much that with a simple AoE while having your oath on or whatever, you basically can take care of the action. So despite it all, it's all manageable, but the problem is people with different expectations going into it. And I believe it when people say on the forums they don't like this or the other, whether it's the wall-to-wall pull or a healer doing this, a healer not DPSing, which they should, those kind of things, that there is a muddled mess of expectation. But this is only happening in the dungeons where the best of the best and the lowest of the low can meet up. Right. And spend 25 minutes together, and everybody has a different fucking expectation. Now, if you're pulling this shit in a savage party finder, I queued up for this, you should be ashamed of yourself. But if you're if you're in a dungeon, you either drop or you kick somebody or you do whatever. It's a muddled mess, and that's just how it is.
And who cares if it takes me 20 minutes or 26 minutes? That's what kills me is the wall-to-wall pulls. I don't think that most of the time save more than 10 minutes anyway.
No more. 7 minutes, I think, is the average.
So whether you do it or not, I don't really care. But please, I don't know, say something. Don't go. Kariri and I, even on our ults, she was tanking, I was healing, and someone else, one of the damage dealers, decided to take it upon themselves to run over. And this is Tasha. This is the very first dungeon. They decided, the captain's quarter room and the other room, they decided to go out and grab all the other stuff. And it's like, I only have 2 buttons in this dungeon.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't have any problem with it, but it's like, if someone's going to pull, let the tank pull. I think you had shield lob. I don't know.
I didn't I got it right before we went in. I got it right before we went in. That's right. But what got me is I had already told them, I'm like, this is my first dungeon in 6 years. Be nice. Yeah. I was like, I tried to manage those expectations walking in there and we still had someone going ahead. To be fair, he waited until we were at a point in the dungeon where he saw that I could get them off of him. Like
that if I needed, I don't know.
Yeah, that was as nice as we got. But yeah, it still didn't go too bad. But I got to tell you though, Ruby, that I'm glad you pointed out this thread because there is some real internet gold here.
Oh, there's a beautiful thing going on in there. It's pretty hilarious. So, to me, it just always comes down to expectation, and the most bitching I see on the forums is centered around dungeons. And dungeons is just the wild card. You're going to get what you get. And I guess that you have to have you got to take dungeons with a grain of salt. If you're queuing for an expert dungeon, you might be queuing up for as good as getting with your trusts, which will be new to you as well, Kariri, the trust system.
I don't know what that word means.
Well, it's a great little system that allows you to take companions with you into some of the newer dungeons. So you can play solo with some NPCs. It's quite interesting. So
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, and I think that's something that, well, one is gearing this game toward a single player mode, but is also helping people with either social anxiety or uncomfortability with a role, or I don't want to deal with people today, or I have a crying kid in another room and this is easier for me to manage.
I might have to AFK.
Might have to AFK. Yeah. I ate Taco Bell and I don't know what's going to happen next. Whatever. That's
too drunk to play.
This is the reason for trusts. So dungeons will always be a muddled mess, and you just have to take the wild card where it is. But back to just the original email, I think Maximum has set the expectation. The streamer, for entertainment purposes, has set the expectation, and I do lean heavy on that. If you are an entertainer, you want to make the entertainment as long as possible. You want more bits. You want more donos. So I'm going to make this, seemingly fight I could maybe master in a couple of days. Take me a couple of weeks or whatever to get the maximum viewership before then. So fucking around doing something
it's
blind.
entertainment, right?
It's going to be entertaining.
Entertainment,
yeah.
with people who are also wanting to be involved. So that's fine with me. Outside of dungeons, the one other piece of content you can queue up for that can be amazing or a fucking travesty is Mentor Roulette. I am working on my Mentor Roulette mount. It is so...
God
it is
bless you.
tons and tons. Oh my god, it's so many Mentor Roulettes. And you will either get Sastasha or you'll get the last boss in Stone Vigil or whatever. Or you'll get, I don't know, Ravana Hard with people who don't know how not to get pushed off the edge. I mean, you can get anything in that. But when I queue up for it, I know I either am going to burn 10 minutes or an hour. So just don't queue up for it if you're not ready for what you get. All right, we had one more tweet. This is from Tales of Aaron. Started listening to GTFFXIV, and I'm obsessed. Been looking for a Final Fantasy XIV podcast, and this is hitting all the right vibes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm still kind of stunned every time we get a new listener. Someone doesn't hate us. So yeah, welcome to the game, though. This is awesome.
Yeah. Let us know how you're enjoying things, what you're up to, what you like, what you don't like. We always love feedback, about us or about the game in general. It gives us things to talk about, like having Kariri on with us today so we can talk about all the good sproutness and things. And, I'm very interested to hearing more, so I hope you are... You obviously are welcome to come on to more episodes. I don't think I even have any say. I think Yelta would just say, you're on. So I have no choice.
Well, I didn't want to speak for her. I didn't want to speak for Kariri, whether she was guesting or back full-fledged. If you're back full-fledged, that's amazing, and I'm super happy.
Oh, I'm having a blast right now. And no, I was just really, really excited that you guys asked me. So we'll have to see where we go.
Well, as I say, I would love to hear more stuff about at least your adventures. I think it gives us good topics to talk about, as far as like seeing what has opened your eyes. And I think it's good in comparison with all these other sprouts. For you, Kariri, it probably isn't as noticeable, but for Yelta and I, like when I zone into Ul'dah today, cause I'm doing the Rising, knocking it out, and it's just a sea of sprouts. I'm like, oh my, it's just green everywhere. And these aren't bots. These are real live players taking advantage of, the return campaigns or the free trial or my buddy's playing, I want to be on the same server. I heard this game was good. It's just a sea of sprouts everywhere. And there has been so many droughts, so many times where like we have hoped for new players or enough draw. And to be on this 8-year journey, 10 years, however long it's been, to see this game grow to a point where you're like, wow, I'm kind of overwhelmed with content. There's a lot of stuff to do. I still need to get this, that, the other done. And a lot of people are just enjoying this game immensely. It's a really nice place to be. So
definitely
share us your journey as much as you can.
Share us your journey. Oh, have you joined the Novice Network chat? Because it's garbage, or used to be anyway.
It was the first thing I learned how to do when I logged back in, or on my new character, is to turn it off. That was the first control I learned, because, oh my god.
It's been awful. We can talk about that later. But, no, it's not good on our server.
I don't think it's good on any server, to be quite honest. There's a thread today on the official forums talking about, can we change the mentor icon to a watering can and ditch the Novice Network altogether? People hate the Novice Network.
Well, part of the problem with I'm just going to go into this quickly. Part of the problem with this game, one of the problems with this game is there's no zone chat. There's shout, but there's not like Baron. I know Baron's chat is cancer, but the Novice Network gives new people somewhere to chat and ask questions. So that's the idea anyway. And then, my thought was once you were kicked out of the Novice Network, you should have found a couple link shells, crossword link shells, maybe a free company by then. So there is a need for some sort of helpful open world chat, but you get all the bad stuff that goes with it. You know, I don't know. I don't think I'm in the novice network. I turn it on once every couple months. I'll turn it on, and it's completely people just being assholes to each other, or telling people to look shit up on the internet, or people telling a level 20 crafting sprout some shit that's not going to matter to them for, I don't know, 60 more levels. Anyway, I'm not happy with the mentor system or the chat, so. But anyway, I guess it's probably closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website, www.gtffxiv.com. While you're there, please leave us a comment. And if you'd like to, you can support us by clicking the donation button. You can find us on Twitter at GTFFXIV. Email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. Please rate us. Personal plugs. We're going to go with Kariri first. You have a personal plug?
Just that you can find me on Twitter at Kari Sumasu. That's KHARIISUMASU.
Ruby?
Yeah, as always, you can find me at Rubicon Vale, RUBICONVALE, also on Twitter.
You can find me on Twitter at Yelta Sumasu, YELTASUMASU. As always, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.